Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Monday, March 16th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Douglas County Judge Brian Huber declared a mistrial after a jury deadlocked in the trial of a Leavenworth motorist suspected in a fatal vehicle collision in 2022. The Chelan County Commissioners will hold a joint community meeting at the end of the month to provide updates on their districts. Showers with temperatures in the 60s the next couple of days. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. A 24-year-old Chelan woman is dead after the SUV she was riding in slammed into an ambulance Saturday, and the driver now faces a charge of vehicular homicide. Casey J. Emery was declared dead at the scene of the crash, in which 24-year-old driver Jaden C. Buyas of Eniat was heading north on Highway 97A, 5 miles north of Eniat. The Washington State Patrol says Buyas in a 2023 Chevrolet Trailblazer failed to slow for a Ballard ambulance that was running to a call with its emergency lights on. When the ambulance driver slowed to make a right turn off the highway, Buyas slammed into the rear. Troopers say drugs or alcohol were believed to be involved in the crash, which happened about 9:55 p.m., and Emery was not wearing a seatbelt. Buyas received treatment for injuries at Confluence Health in Wenatchee and was booked on Sunday at the Chelan County Jail. The driver and passenger in the ambulance were not injured. Highway 97A was closed around the scene of the crash until about 5 a.m. Sunday. In an exclusive interview with NCWLIFE, Casey Emery's parents say they want their daughter not to be remembered for how she died, but how she lived her life. NCWLIFE's Rick Boone reports.
The parents of Casey Emery say that she was traveling along Highway 97A heading back to Chelan. But then that ride soon ended, and so did her life, which changed her family's life forever.
She's the most amazing person ever. The wonderful daughter. Can't even put it into words. It's heartbreaking and something I wish upon nobody. It's awful.
She left her house in Eniat. She was with her boyfriend, and they were on their way to Chelan, 9:30ish, and got in an accident 9:55. They hit an ambulance that was turning onto Shipoke, mile marker 20, somewhere right in that ballpark, and collided right in the back of it and killed her instantly.
She had, beginning her senior year in 2019, she was on a field trip and fell and broke her arm and her elbow. They found a tumor in it, and it just started from there. 7-8 year long surgeries after surgery, and then also lung surgery because the tumor got into her lungs, and she was a strong woman.
She didn't have her seatbelt on. She always wears her seatbelt, but with her arm, she pulls it off and readjusts her arm, puts a pillow back under it and stuff. So I don't know if that was the case or not.
Passion. She was very caring, loving, beautiful, smart. There wasn't a flaw to her that I could even think of. She was just a wonderful person.
All of our families come together, and we're struggling through it together. Just trying to figure out what the next step is.
Just that I love her so much, and I wish she was here. Yeah. Sorry.
And right now, the friends of Casey Emery's family have put together a GoFundMe page to handle the expenses for her burial. You can find that link on our website, WenatcheeWorld.com and NCWLife.com. In Chelan County, Rick Boone, NCWLIFE News.
Douglas County Judge Brian Huber declared a mistrial after a jury deadlocked in the trial of a Leavenworth motorist suspected in a fatal vehicle collision in 2022. 32-year-old Thomas Allen O'Connell was charged last year with hit and run, resulting in a death. Police say in 2022 he struck and killed a pedestrian, Antonio Valenzuela of Wenatchee, while driving on Highway 28 between East Wenatchee and Rock Island, and then continued on from the crash scene. O'Connell's trial began March 9th and continued through Friday when the jury declared that it was deadlocked. The prosecutor's office has the opportunity to refile charges and potentially take O'Connell to a trial a second time. Douglas County Prosecutor Sean Lewis was not immediately available for comment. A Chelan County judge ruled Friday that Wenatchee Valley College violated the State Public Records Act in two separate cases brought by a Wenatchee Valley College student. Judge Kristen Ferreira ruled that the college failed to comply with the state's public records law when student David Landfor filed requests for his own educational records under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. WVC acknowledged that it went 4 months without providing records or telling Landfor that it would need to extend its deadlines as required by state law. Ferreira ordered the college to pay Landfor a total of $4,600 in costs and penalties. In a statement today, the college says Landfor has been responsible for nearly 50% of all the public records requests it's received since 2023, including 62 requests this year alone. The Wenatchee Valley College says it was, quote, unable to respond in a timely manner due to the number of requests submitted and staffing capacity. People and pets were the stars of Saturday's St. Patrick's Day Parade in downtown Wenatchee, a local tradition since 1981. Billed as the world's shortest parade, the march travels just one block down Orondo Avenue from Mission Street to Wenatchee Avenue. The whole procession took just a few minutes. Each year, the parade leaders choose a grand marshal among world-famous people of the moment. The designated grand marshals this year were the U.S. Olympic men's and women's hockey teams, but just like every celebrity picked for the parade before them, the gold medal athletes did not show up to carry the baton. When we come back, a residential structure fire in the town of Bridgeport last week brought aid from surrounding fire agencies, and the Wenatchee High School varsity boys basketball team earned the highest grade point average of any other 4A basketball team in the state this season. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
A residential structure fire in the town of Bridgeport last week brought aid from surrounding fire agencies. Bridgeport's volunteer fire and EMS department says the blaze was reported about 8:20 p.m. in the 1100 block of Fairview Avenue at a manufactured home with outbuildings. The fire spread between structures but was controlled with help from 14 volunteer firefighters responding from nearby Douglas Okanagan Fire District 15. The fire agencies say no one was injured in that blaze. The Chelan County Commissioners will hold a joint community meeting at the end of the month to provide updates on their districts. Commissioners Kevin Overbay, Sean Smith, and Brad Hawkins typically host 2 meetings in their individual districts in the spring and fall. The county says it opted to host one hybrid meeting together in hopes that more people will attend. Each commissioner will take 10 minutes to discuss current events in their districts, and the event will be open to community members for questions. The 2-hour meeting will be held on March 31st and can be attended in person at the County Administration Office at 400 Douglas Street or online via Zoom. The Wenatchee High School varsity boys basketball team earned the highest grade point average of any other 4A boys basketball team in the state this season. Overall, the boys achieved slightly over a 3.74 combined GPA. The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association named the team the 4A Academic State Champions. The players and Coach Kellen Drake were honored at the 4A WIAA State Championship game in Tacoma last Saturday. The Academic State Champion Award is given to varsity teams who are dedicated to both athletic and academic achievement. Coming up next, the state senator who's represented Moses Lake and the surrounding area since 2015 announced last week that she will not seek re-election. In tonight's feature story, Judy Warnick was honored by her fellow legislators from both sides of the aisle on the Senate floor last Wednesday. Get ready for unseasonably warm temperatures through the week with just a chance for showers off and on. I'll have your local weather details coming up, along with Dan Kuntz with a look at what's happening in sports as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
National RV Show is happening now at the Grant County Fairgrounds through Sunday, March 22nd. Countless manufacturers and unbeatable deals. Shop a huge selection of all the best brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. Shop Grand Design, Flagstaff, Gulfstream, and much more. All with massive manufacturer discounts, free admission, and you could win a new RV. Don't miss the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Schedule a VIP tour to save $1,000 at nationalrvshowmoseslake.com.
The state senator who's represented Moses Lake and the surrounding area since 2015 announced last week that she will not seek re-election. Senator Judy Warnick finished out her final session in the Olympia legislature on Thursday. The Republican was first elected to the House in 2006 to represent Washington's 13th district and then the Senate 8 years later. Warnick said family issues are part of her motivation for leaving. No other candidate has yet filed to run for her office. In tonight's feature story, Warnick was honored by her fellow legislators from both sides of the aisle on the Senate floor last Wednesday.
She never hesitates to stand up and share the great things that are going on with her family, with her children, with her grandchildren, and tie it in to things that we can relate to in our own districts and our own families. And it makes our work here so much more pleasant, so much more human, and she does it with such ease. It always amazes me, and I'm always grateful when she shares that.
So I called up Representative Warnock, and I said, Judy, it's Lisa. I understand you're running for the Senate, and what can I do to support you? Would you like me to come out and knock doors for you? Would you like me to, and she thought maybe for a minute and said, I don't think that would be helpful, although I think that this was very much appreciated. And so I subsequently understood why she didn't find a lifelong Democrat going to bat for her and speaking for her. But she has continued to have that same intellect, that same caring about issues and the impact of those issues, and bringing that knowledge to the table and sharing that knowledge. And I still would say that when I look at Senator Warnock, I don't see a Republican or a Democrat. I see somebody who cares deeply about the state and makes decisions on that basis.
The thing I'll just share with their family, they open their doors to everyone. They have open hearts, open doors, and it's the way she has lived her life and the way she has been a legislator and a senator, and I will be deeply, deeply grateful for her friendship.
It has been an absolute honor to serve in the legislature. It's been almost 20 years, and as was mentioned, our family has gone through quite a bit in the last 12 months. And my kids and my husband are saying enough. So I'm looking forward to spending more time with them and on our farm. I told somebody I'm actually going to plant a garden. I haven't planted a garden for several years. Get on my horse a few more times this year and maybe go down one of those trails that the backcountry horsemen work on. But I do want to say thank you to everyone I've served with. Senator Peterson, we did come in together. We were absolutely on the opposite side many times, but we still stayed friends. Senator Schessler, he gave me my endorsement before I even knew how important that was. As a new person coming in, running for office, I had never been in office before, but I'd worked with him a little bit, and to have him call and say, you have my endorsement, it means more now than it ever has. So we've worked on some difficult issues together, but I do try to reach out to both sides, to all sides, and because that's the way it should be.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Great to be back, and boy, what a weekend. Let's go back for a second to Friday. What that snow was all about was a lot of moisture for us here in the Wenatchee area. We'll tell you just how much coming up, but after that, snow stuck around over the weekend, and then pretty nice day today. We had a mix of clouds and sun. Some white hillsides around the Wenatchee area now after picking up about a half a foot of snow in parts of East Wenatchee, a little bit less in the Wenatchee area itself. But as we move through the week now, we expect a big warm up. It started today where we saw temperatures much warmer than we had over the weekend, and we are expecting Tuesday through Saturday temperatures mainly in the upper 50s to mid 60s, maybe even some local 70s on our map by the time we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But there is a chance for some rain showers. It'll mainly be along the Cascade Crest and over into the Idaho Panhandle. The big concern right now with the warmer temperatures and the rain, rising river levels. We've been seeing that since that big snow and rain on Friday into Saturday, and we're going to see it again throughout this week, and we'll keep an eye on that for you. But we talked about a decent day today. In fact, it was about where we should be for this time of year. 52 unofficially today. 53 is our normal high for this time of year. What a beautiful day in 1972. 72 degrees, our record high temperature. 34 this morning, right in line with our normal low of 34. 25, our record low, and that was set in 2020. Going back to the precip now from that snow on Friday, check that out. 1.34 inches of moisture from that snow on Friday. That gets us almost to 2 inches now, precipitation January 1st to now, which is only 0.17 of an inch behind where we should be. And boy, did we get healthy in a hurry from that snow. Snowfall to date now at 8 inches. Sunrise this morning, 7:11, and it sets tonight at 7:08. Taking a look at temperatures as we get you into Tuesday. How about this? It doesn't look like March at all. It looks more like April. 67 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 66 in Quincy, beautiful in Ellensburg into Wenatchee. We will see about 64 degrees, 63 for Eniat and Chelan, 60 up in Lake Wenatchee tomorrow, and 64 beautiful degrees for you folks in Cashmere for your Tuesday afternoon. Tonight we do expect partly cloudy skies. There is a ridge of high pressure up and over the Pacific Northwest with a big deep trough over into Montana and the Dakotas. We'll see partly cloudy skies tonight and very mild overnight lows with temperatures in the low 40s. For your Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies. We are seeing, once again, a miniature atmospheric river moving into Washington State, and you can see that flow of moisture. About a 30% chance of rain for our St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. It will be warmer with high temperatures in the mid-60s for us. For your Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. This area of low pressure will continue to pump that moisture into Washington State. Once again, we'll see about a 30% chance of rain and mild afternoon temperatures. Highs for your midweek Wednesday, once again in the mid-60s. For Thursday, not much change, except a little bit drier, I think, for us. Most of the showers will be in the extreme northwest part of Washington. Just beautiful, mostly cloudy with highs in the mid-60s for Thursday. And then maybe back to the wet stuff on Friday. Could be a little bit breezy as well on Friday. Just a 20% chance for scattered showers as we end our work week. Still warm with high temperatures in the mid-60s on Friday, and then a bit of a temperature change as we get you into the upcoming weekend. Inverted area of high pressure nosing into the Pacific Northwest. That could kick off a little breezy conditions on Saturday. It will cool us down a bit too. Mid to upper 50s for highs on Saturday. And then for our weekend, there is that beautiful ridge of high pressure. Partly cloudy skies for us on Sunday and nice. We'll see high temperatures on Sunday in the mid 50s. All right, your 7-day forecast now. And it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. Beautiful overnight low tonight of 42 degrees. Look at these highs on Tuesday and Wednesday. 64 with a 30% chance of rain each day. 66, our warmest day of the week on Thursday with mostly cloudy skies. And then we'll see just a chance for showers on Friday. Mostly cloudy, a 20% chance of rain and 64. Maybe some breezy conditions to kick off our weekend on Saturday and 57, and then just a beautiful day on Sunday, mostly sunny, the high temperature of 56 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Happy Monday, sports fans. Good weekend for the Seattle Kraken on Saturday. They went up to Vancouver, knocked off the Canucks 5-2 for our brand new player, a guy by the name of Bobby McMahon. Scored a couple of goals on Saturday night. Then he scored another goal yesterday, plus he had an assist in his second game for Seattle. Kraken beat the defending Stanley Cup champions. The Florida Panthers 6-2 last night. They are now in the second wild card spot in the West.
Ended up sending his teammates and line mates up the ice. Evans, pretty good draw, cleaned up by Gus Forsling. Good draw again, tipped, they score! Ben Myers! Little pinball wizard out in front. As it ricochets around, she loves it, and the Kraken are off and running.
Win this face-off, and they turn it over right there. Good job by Riker Evans. He's not getting any assists on this, but he hung around the blue line. He didn't leave the zone too early. And then Freddie Gaudreau gets it to the net, directed by Winterton, and as you picked up perfectly, Johnny, right off of Ben Myers.
Well, just simple hockey from that line, though. That's all right.
Yeah. Mikkola will take over to the wall of steel. Oleksiak shifting in. He sets up Kakko right out in front. What a stop by Tarasov. They score! It's Berkeley Kenton on the rebound. The little cat snuck in. Sniffed out the loose change after Kakko had the first chance, and the Kraken are up by 2.
How about the hands in tight from Kakko, pulling to the back end. Tarasov makes an excellent save, throwing it back to the net, but Catton gets inside. You look at the white jerseys out in front, 2 of them. First is the save, the opportunity going back, but Catton works his way to the inside, is able to flip that back up and over a sprawling Tarasov.
Well, we talked about in the pregame, Seattle Kraken. And I love that Kakko didn't, after he got stopped, he didn't have a flyby below the goal line.
Here's a chance, they come right back. A response goal for Vinny Hinostroza, set up by Luke Cunnin, and Florida cuts the lead in half. Lindgren is hard pressed, help comes from Winterton, and the Kraken are out. Winterton, Montour, the trailer, Myers, off the post, they score! Ryan Winterton bangs it home in the right place at the right time, and the Kraken reestablish a 2-goal lead.
He's going to dump this puck off to Brandon Montour. and another Kraken player going to the net, stopping and staying and hanging around.
He'll send it in. Zabrango gets after it, so does Dunn for the Kraken. Vince Dunn, Capo Caco, power move, he scores! Capo Caco takes it to the house, and the Kraken have a 4-1 lead. Gate to stick McMahon, glove down by Shane Wright. In the corner, Ellie Tolvanen, and there's a play off Tarasov from Caco, set up beautifully by Tolvanen.
What a play.
Montour, Ellie Tolvanen, Shane Wright again. Tolvanen, cross ice, Caco to the slot. McMahon, he scores! That's hockey, baby! Bobby McMahon with his third goal as a Kraken.
But he goes to his second unit to start this power play. A couple of great chances, a beautiful pass from Tolvanen to Caco, did not connect. But this one here, Caco to McMahon.
Eberle for Oleksiak, who stick handles in. Bobby McMahon in front, they score! Hey, what do you say? Bobby McMahon right on the money to the big rig, who has goals in consecutive games, and the Kraken up by 5.
Where he avoided contact there on Boquist. And the game of hockey is all about move the puck, move yourself.
Kraken are off today. They will host the Tampa Bay Lightning at Climate Pledge Arena tomorrow night. That's at 7 o'clock, nationally televised on TNT. Good weekend for the Kraken, not so much for the Mariners. They lost to the Dodgers in Cactus League action on Friday, lost to the Angels on Saturday, beat the Reds yesterday in a very hot day down in the desert. They are now 6-16-1 in Cactus League play, but again, the games don't count. They have today off. They'll take on the Rockies tomorrow at 1:10. They may move that game, the Mariners and the Rockies, to an evening game because of the oppressive heat down in the Phoenix area. We're going dancing, Gonzaga. We knew the Zags were going to make the men's tournament. They are. They'll be in Portland. Not a long trip for them in the West Regional. And come Thursday, they'll take on 14th seeded Kennesaw State. That'll be Thursday, 7 o'clock on TBS. For the women's tournament, number 6 seed Washington will be in Fort Worth, Texas. On Friday, they'll take on an 11 seed San Diego State. That's Friday morning, 11:30, but you have to have ESPN News to watch that, and I don't have it. And the Lady Bulldogs are in the tournament. They're going to be in Region 2. They'll be in Minneapolis. They'll play Friday, just like the Huskies. That's at 12:30 in the afternoon on ESPN2. Gonzaga takes on number 5, Mississippi. Mother Nature played havoc with the prep sports scene over the weekend, but some soccer got in. Most of the soccer games got in. Eastmont got lucky. They played on Friday down to the Tri-Cities. They beat Pasco 4-1. Then on Saturday, look at all those shutouts. Cascade shut out Bridgeport. Okanagan shut out Warden. Moses Lake took one on the chin against East Valley. Ephrata shut out Tenasket. Davis with a football score over Quincy. Highlands shut out Manson. Cashmere did allow a goal to College Place, but they won easily. Eastmont and Mount Si, Tahoma at Wenatchee, and Everett at Chelan. They never got going. It's hard to play when there's snow on the pitch. Prep softball, same deal. A number of postponements over the weekend, but they are going to do one makeup today. Brewster was supposed to play Lake Roosevelt on Saturday. Now they'll play today at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Kennewick and Moses Lake were supposed to play Saturday afternoon at the Larson Playgrounds in Moses Lake. That's been delayed until today. First pitch of the first game was at 1 o'clock. Second game shortly thereafter. I'll have the scores on that come tomorrow and wake up on Wenatchee Valley. And a pretty lost weekend for the Wenatchee Wild. Of course, their season is all but done. They're not going to make the WHL playoffs. They're down to their last 2 games. Over the weekend, they lost to Prince George 1-0 on Friday and then 5-0 Saturday up in Prince George. They will host Everett this Friday in their last home game before they close out their season with a game at the Silvertips next weekend. And those are just some of the games that people are playing.
A new edition of the Wenatchee World is en route to your mailbox. Here's what to expect on Tuesday from the Wenatchee Valley's local newspaper.
All right, in the next edition of the Wenatchee World, we have an exclusive interview with the family of a 24-year-old woman who was killed in a fatal car crash this weekend. Gas prices have topped $5 in Wenatchee, and we have a profile on Kevin McKee and his life in local theater. You can read all that and more on whenatyourworld.com.
And that will do it for this Monday edition of the NCW Life Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.